We have the worst version of the gospel in the world in the West. And you know what else? We have the worst version of Christianity in the world in the West. Nowhere is Christianity as watered down and diluted as it is in the West. To the point that most people who are not so obsessed with America they can't see straight would be willing to admit that the forerunner of what God's doing in the earth right now is not America, it's China. But I know some of y'all can't do that because you have to get off the Trump train for a few minutes. So we don't want to make you do that for sure. Because that's the whole thing. The whole thing is like we're missing that there are people that have one page of the Bible and they are more whole than you and I, and we've got 14 different translations and every different color of fake leather to cover our Bible. You know what I mean? I mean, like it's like Bibles everywhere. You got people on the dashboard, in the back of the car, under the. You know how many Bibles I have? I probably have hundreds of Bibles. Yet you got somebody in an underground church in China who's got one page. They have to hide that one page. But they started with the kindness of God. And literally the church in China has said, please don't send us any more missionaries from the West, because all they do is make our church sin conscious. And we don't talk about sin, and we don't think about sin, and we don't have issues with sin. Why? Because we started with the goodness of God. And if the foundation is the goodness of God, then the declaration is perfect righteousness, and then the inheritance is complete wholeness. And from there, all of a sudden you stand in happy fulfillment. From there, you make progress and don't need progress to validate your walk with God. So I know that, I know this is, it's a shame that this is new information, but it is. It's not in other parts of the world. And I'm telling you, it's not in the Orthodox Church in the East. Western Orthodox church is as screwed up as everything else in the West, but the Orthodox church in the East, they believe like this about God. Doesn't mean they have everything right. But has anybody ever told you that complete wholeness came from one declaration? No, wholeness, that takes you years, if you ever get there. Yeah, so Mark said, you attain sainthood. That's the leaven of what entered into the church that said it is actually in some ways by works of righteousness that you're made righteous. But the scripture says it's not by works of righteousness lest men should boast. I mean, how much pride is there in how'd you get to complete wholeness? How long does it take to write that book?